Yeah.
Mo, how's your day going aside from talking to media people asking you the same questions over and over and over and over again?
I mean, it's not bad. It just started, so you're the first one today, so that's it's not too bad.
Cool. Well, I understand that you have a workout that you're promoting at the moment. Do you want to tell me about it and then I can ask you the ultra interesting stuff?
Yeah, for sure, dude. So it's basically the thenar workout. It works the muscle that controls your thumb movement. It's
Sure.
basically just using the clean called laundry detergent sheets, and that's it.
Yeah, so it's fantastic to see that the Tab Lasso role is synonymous with you. But of course, you did a lot before the show, you're doing a
Yeah.
lot after the show. But when did you kind of realize that it was going to be this pop culture phenomenon that you didn't have to be a sports fan to like?
It's I feel so fortunate and lucky because it's Ted Lasso. The show itself has such good rep. It feels great to be connected to that show for hopefully forever. Just for or at least a very long time that people remember that I'm on that show. It's just like when Clean Cult reached out, they were like it's the things that they're giving away, the workout equipment
Yeah.
is sheets to clean your stuff. So it's clean sheets. Goalkeeper has clean sheets. Like if a goalkeeper has a clean sheet, it means that it's like no goal were scored on him. So it's like
Of course.
I love that. It's whatever it connects it to a show that has such a good rep. It's amazing. It's clever.
Well, the success that you've had with this show reminds me of the American version of The Office. How, yes, it went off the air 7, 8 years ago, whatever it is, but forever we associate those people with that. So anytime a corporation wants to do a campaign of showing off how to do this at the office party, they hire the people from the office. So the way I'm reading it, Mo, you unfortunately have work the next like 10, 15 years.
I mean,
Mhm.
if that's true, I'll take it. That's in this economy, I'll take it. And
But
also, thank you
you're
for comparing us to The Office because The Office is one of the goats.
For sure, but your credits, of course, also include Trailer Park Boys, a lot
Yeah.
of like Canadian institutions of comedy. And if Wikipedia is correct, you were originally going to be a law school kind of dude. Um,
Yeah.
what was it that drew you into comedy in the first place? But because correct me if I'm wrong, you were never a stand-up.
No, I was never a stand-up, but for me, it's more acting in general. It was never really like, oh yeah, comedy is gonna be a thing for me or anything. Like, dude, comedy is for me is like like I don't know, but the hardest feel in mathematics, the hardest feel in science. It's the hardest feel in the medical field. Like it's so difficult. Like I will always remember on set with Jason wrote dialogue for me. Like he was just a small part for me. He wrote, and he was like, and I came in the morning, I did it, and then all the crew laughed. Like in the rehearsal, the whole crew laughed the way I did it, and I changed a few things. And then Jason came by and he was like, "Hey, yo, say it exactly how it's written. Like say the commas, say the period." And then he imitated me how I should do it, and I was like, okay, oh, all right, sure. And then I do it, and no one laughs, and I was like, you see, I don't think, like, I didn't say anything, but in my mind I was like, you see, I don't think it's gonna work. Nobody laughed. It doesn't really. I thought the way I did it was funnier, and then the show comes out, and I watched the moment that he changed, and I was like, this is my funniest moment on the show. It's hilarious, and most people keep telling me like, "Oh my god, this moment was so funny," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's 100% Jason." Like the sentence becomes an equation. It's an equation, and if you mess it up, it doesn't work. And that moment that I was talking about is the moment with the Nespresso machine where I tell Juno, Keely, I tell her like, "Hey, can I give you back? Can I give you back the machine and you can give me money and you can give me some money?" And so I didn't know how to say it. I said it in a way that I thought was funny. The crew laughed, and then I do it the way he tells me that I should do it, and it totally works. So it's like comedy's tough, man. Comedy's really, really tough. But for me, it was always just acting in general. And then I met Orlando Jones at a Best Buy that I was working at, because I was in university working, and then like to pay the bills, I was working at Best Buy, and then I see
Yeah.
Orlando Jones, and then I'm like, oh, you're filming something here? He's like, yeah, I'm filming this TV show with this director. And I was like, oh, that director did this, and he was like, wait, how do you know directors like that? And I was like, oh, I love the business, I love acting, I love movies, TV shows, but I'm from Montreal, and it's impossible. And he's like, dude, I'm in front of you. Don't say that I'm impossible. I'm literally here. And I was like, wow. And he was like, yo, if you're Canadian and you want to stay here, go to Vancouver. You'll work, because there's not a lot of black people there. And then I was like, oh, well, really? And so the same summer I moved to Vancouver, and then the auditions I had in Vancouver are as big as the auditions I have now, because he was right. There was not a lot of black actors there, And so that's how my journey started in acting, and then I just fell in love with it. And then fast forward, I mean, almost a decade later, I'm in LA, and I'm gonna do this play at the Pasadena Playhouse,
Mhm.
which is a prestigious playhouse in Los
Yes.
Angeles. It's kind
Yeah.
of like off Broadway, basically.
Yeah, to
And then,
rudely interrupt you, I know way too much about Pasadena because I
oh
wrote a
no
book
way!
about David Lee Roth, and
Oh,
Van Halen is Pasadena, and you
oh
learn
no
that a
way!
lot of Broadway shows workshop there before it's going to go to Broadway or the
That's
national.
it.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It totally makes sense, dude. The Pasadena Playhouse is beautiful. It was an absolutely amazing
yeah,
experience. I loved it. And then I'm walking downstairs in the basement of the Playhouse, and it has pictures of everyone who's ever done a play at the Pasadena. So you see Lawrence Fishburne, you see like insane actors, and I look at one, and I see Orlando Jones, and I'm like, wow, yeah, I'm here thanks to that guy, basically.
well, Orlando, not that this is the Orlando interview. I've had the pleasure of interviewing him briefly for an Apple TV thing. You
Nice.
learn that most comedians are amazing actors. And he did his time on Mad TV, which was not his greatest work, but you realize what depth there is in comedians when it comes to acting chops. So I see you and I go, okay, yeah, of course that guy can act. But again, he didn't come from stand up.
Yeah, no, definitely did come from stand up, but I'll take the compliment. Thank you very much.
And when you say that there was no black actors basically in that province, that city, there's no black Jewish actors either. So
Yeah,
you
no,
really
definitely
check a
not.
lot of boxes there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I am the only one like that.
So that's something that people only started to realize like in the past few years. I think it was the Jerusalem Post or one of those pieces where you talked about your Orthodox upbringing that
Yeah.
people don't really know about. Did that lead to more work or more opportunities, or is that just a Wikipedia good fun fact?
I think it's more just a fun fact, or it's like if I meet other Jews and stuff like that, that we'll definitely be talking about like Shabbat and stuff like that. Like it was last week, it was Yom Kippur, now it's Sukkot. So it's always like, oh, it's cool. It's always good, to have a community, and like it's something that you can relate to right away, especially in the world right now where it's tough to like there's not that much, like way back then it was people would like congregate together. Like people would go to the church or the synagogue or the mosque together, and it was a place where people could like really relate. There's a lot less of that now, and so it's like it's
Right.
it's a bit of a reason why there's so much divide everywhere in the world, like not a lot. And I'm not preaching for religion, I'm preaching more for like uh just people relating to something together, like coming together to talk about the same things and the same things that you love. And so yeah, it's just really cool to have that.
For sure. And where I was going on the career end was I didn't know if the way that Judd Apatow heard Amy Schumer for the first time on Howard Stern went, I can cast that person. I didn't know if somebody said, oh, well, Mo has that background. We have a Yiddish speaking black actor that we need for this. And you're going to go, well, yeah, that's the next project.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It hasn't happened yet, but I must say I watched the show on Netflix called Nobody Wants It.
Oh,
And that was really, really good. And I was like, oh my God, I'd love to be in something like that. It was one of the first times that I saw like like the synagogue a lot. There's a rabbi in it. Like I was like, this is really, really cool. Like the last time I saw something like that was on Entourage. You know, that was great. That was great. I love seeing that on screen.
For sure. Well, hey, back to you and all that. The workout is the new project right now, but we allowed to know where we're going to see you next, or when we're going to see you next, or do we just have to wait for Hollywood Reporter embargoes and all that to lift?
I mean, no, no. So I did after season 3, a few months after season 3, I did a movie in Canada, but it's an American movie that's gonna come out. It was a horror movie, which was an absolute blast. I love doing that. It was with Alex Noyer, the director. It was a lot of it was a lot of fun. Horror is like another genre where it's just so cool, you know. It's a fun thing. It's always smaller budget and it's very intimate, so that was really really cool. And then I did a independent movie also a few months back that's gonna come out maybe next year. That was also a lot of fun to film. So I have two things in the can that should come out at some point.
Is by any chance that horror film something that you did with Popternative producing?
No, no, no. But Pop Alternative is he's a good friend of mine. I love him. PD Beats. Yeah, he's
Maybe.
amazing.
I
Yeah, you
saw he
know.
followed you. He's been promoting horror stuff he did. You just figure, what are the odds with all that?
Yeah, no,
So,
for sure. But we were supposed to do something at some point together. Yeah, he's great. Congrats to
well,
him. He just did something too in LA, so good for him.
our boy is growing up and doing well.
Yeah.
Uh, so
Are
two
you also
questions.
Canadian?
Oh yeah, he is. I thought he was from
No, but
Montreal.
you.
Oh no, Long Island, New York.
Oh, nice. Okay, East
Have,
Coast, nice.
have you ever been out here on Long
Uh,
Island?
and I don't think I've been to Long Island, but I've been to New York a bunch. But I don't think I've been to Long Island. But it's super East Coast. It's close to Canada, like it's close to Montreal.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half flight or something like that.
That's
Our
it.
town called Long Beach. Lots of shows film here, but they never say that it's Long Beach. So, for example, when Orange is the New Black filmed here, I think they said it was Idaho, and
Oh
there
wow.
was a Kevin Bacon show, and they said that was Florida. Uh,
Isn't Dexter filmed there?
Dexter might have filmed exterior stuff. I don't know about that one, but the Netflix show you just filmed at a diner here in town, but
Oh
they
no,
made
wait, my
it
friend
a
is in
small
that.
scale thing. So no one wants to say they're from Long Beach except The Godfather, but they didn't film in Long Beach. So
No, that makes no sense. The
no,
one time it was supposed to be like, yeah, this is us, and then nope. That's funny.
no, there's a Beastie Boys video that was filmed here, or a Public Enemy video that was filmed here, but even those artists don't want to talk about it. So what can you do?
Oh wow.
Well,
Wow.
two quick questions for you, and then I let
Yeah.
you go. First one, your initials being MJL.
Yep.
Does anyone call you MJL? Because there's that wrestler MJF, and people use that, but no
That's so
MJL.
funny. No, I didn't even know about that. No, it's more people just call me Mo, you know?
Got it. And
Yeah.
then, Mo, the last question: what's the last concert that you went to for fun?
Oh, it was, I've always been a fan of Explosions in the Sky. It's my
Oh yeah,
favorite band. They do a lot of music for movies, TV shows, and stuff like that. I absolutely love them. A long, long time ago, when I was a struggling actor, my buddy, I still lived in Montreal, and my buddy from who lived in LA was like, "Yo, they're actually going to be in LA. You should watch them." And I was like, "Dude, I wish." And then he actually bought me a ticket and he paid my flight and he flew me to LA. I watched him for the first time. I was like, "Oh my god, this!" And he doesn't even love the band. He's just my best friend. So we watched the show, and I was like, "This is so cool." This was a long time ago, and then I filmed the movie, and then like fast forward like over a decade later, and then I'm filming a movie in Toronto, and then I call my buddy because I live in LA now, so but I was away filming in Toronto. I call my buddy. I'm like, "Yo, it's remember the band Explosions in the Sky? It's their last tour ever. So choose whatever city you want in the world. I'll take you, and then we'll go and watch it. I'll pay for the flight, the hotel, the show, all the whole thing." He's like, "Oh, really? You sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro." And then he knew what I was doing. Like he knew I was not just like, "Oh, let's do it." So he didn't even do the friend thing of like, "No, I'll pitch in for this. I'll pitch it." He was like, Okay, all right then. And then he chose Nashville, which is great. Like, he could have chose like Paris, he could have chose anything,
Tokyo.
but he chose Nashville, and he chose the date. And then I came back to LA. I think it was like 2 days later, flew back, and then me and him, we flew to Nashville. We watched the show, and it was beautiful. It was such a beautiful concert. It was amazing, and for me, it's always going to be like a dear place in my heart, because it was at 2 points in my career and in my life that was completely different, but it was the same tangent of me and my buddy watching them play. So it was very, very beautiful.
That is a fantastic answer. We're not going to top that. So, Mo, thank you for your time. Congrats
Thank
on
you.
the success of your workout, and looking
Thank you,
for
dude.
everything that's to come from you in the near future.
Clean cult. Let's go.
Prepared, man.
Paltrocast.